A new at 6, call it government waste or a case of too many cooks. But after 2 decades, 4 mayors, and $3 million, the Garden Theater and the block at Federal Street and North Avenue on the north side are still waiting to be redeveloped. KDKA investigator Andy Sheehan looks at whether it will ever see the light of day.
First, Tom Murphy tried to redevelop it.
We can create an exciting addition to the north side in that whole area.
Then Bob O'Connor and Luke Ravenstall.
This is a gateway to the rest of the north side, and we're starting to see some good positive momentum.
But after 2 decades, court fights, public debates, and millions of dollars in public money, the Garden Theater and the block at Federal Street and North Avenue are still a sorry and blighted sight.
I mean, it's been going on 20 years, and it still looks like that.
Post-Gazette columnist and longtime Northsider Brian O'Neill remembers Mayor Murphy's fight to close and buy the Garden Theater, an infamous X-rated movie house whose owners fought the city all the way to the state Supreme Court on First Amendment grounds, arguing that his movies were protected free speech.
Well, as you know, everybody who ever went into porn went into it for the principle of the thing.
The city spent more than $500,000 in legal fees, another $1.1 million to buy the garden, and $1 million more to buy the rest of the block. Close to $3 million in all.
A lot of lawyers were very happy. And then, oddly, ironically, the number the city paid was obscene.
The city did manage to help redevelop the Masonic Temple into the upscale Casa Luna restaurant and City of Asylum bookstore. But the rest of the block is on its 4th mayor and its 4th developer. William Gaddy of Trek Development wants to restore the facades of these 3 buildings and build a luxury apartment house behind it. But some property owners complained that the building was too high and blocked the plan in Commonwealth Court.
You sometimes feel like this block is cursed?
Well, I can't really speak to its curse, but I know that economic problems can be challenging.
If Gaddy is forced to build a smaller building, he won't have the money to restore the facades. So Kevin Ackland, Mayor Peduto's chief of staff, says he'll ask the foundations and the preservationist community to come up with those funds and move the project forward.
While it's been a long-term battle over several administrations and decades, that here we are at the 5-yard line, and you do have alignment.
But while Brian O'Neill would also like to save those facades, he seems to speak for many Northsiders in wanting the project to move forward with or without them.
I want something done sooner rather than later. Don't want to wait another 2 decades.
And perhaps that day of transformation is right around the corner. But until that day comes, these buildings behind me will continue to stand as a monument to failure. At Federal North on the north side, Andy Sheehan, KDKA-TV News.